Chapter 8. The Prince is Puzzled. Prince Prigio did not go to bed. It was bright daylight, and he had promised to bring the horns and tail of Firedrake as a present to the pretty lady. He had said it was easy to do this, but now, as he sat and thought it over, he did not feel so victorious. First, he said, "Where is the Firedrake?" He reflected for a little, then ran upstairs to the garret. "It should be here," he cried, tossing the fairy's gifts about. "And by George, here it is!" Indeed, he had found the spyglass of carved ivory which Prince Ali in the Arabian Nights bought at the bazaar of Shiraz. Now this glass was made so that, by looking through it, you could see anybody or anything you wished, however far away. Prince Prigio's first idea was to look at his lady, but she does not expect to be looked at, he thought, and I won't. On the other hand, he determined to look for the Firedrake, for of course he had no delicacy in spying on him, the brute. The prince clapped his glass to the eye and stared out the window, and there, sure enough, he saw the Firedrake. He was floating about in a sea of molten lava on top of a volcano. There he was, swimming and diving for pleasure, tossing up flaming waves and blowing fountains of fire at his nostrils, like a whale spouting. The prince did not like the looks of him. "With all my cap of darkness and shoes of swiftness and sword of sharpness, I could never get near that beast," he said, "and if I did stalk him, I could not hurt him. Poor little Alfonso, poor Enrico, what plucky fellows they were. I fancied that there was no such thing as a Firedrake. He's not in the natural history books, and I thought the boys were only making fun and would be back soon, safe and sound. No horror being so clever makes one. And now, what am I to do?" What was he to do, indeed, and what would you have done? Bring the horns and tail he must, or perish in the adventure. Otherwise, how could he meet his lady? Why, she would think him a mere braggart. The prince sat down and thought, and the day went on, and it was now high noon. At last he jumped up and rushed to the library, a room where nobody ever went except himself and the queen. There he turned the books upside down and in haste till he found an old one by a French gentleman, Monsieur Cyrano de Bergerac. It was an account of a voyage to the moon, in which there was a great deal of information about matters not generally known, for few travelers have been to the moon. In that book, Prince Prigio fancied he would find something he half remembered and would be of use to him. And he did. You see, that cleverness, minding in your book, has some advantages after all. For here the prince learned that there is a very rare beast called a remora, which is at least as cold as a Firedrake is hot. Now, he thought, if only I could make these two fight, or the remora may kill the Firedrake, or at least take the heat out of it, at least, so I may have a chance. Then he seized the ivory glass and clapped it to his eye and looked for the remora. Just as the tip of his nose, as white as snow and as smooth as ice, was sticking out of a chink in the frozen mountain, not far from the burning mountain of the Firedrake. "Ray," said the prince softly to himself, and he jumped like mad into the winged shoes of swiftness and stuck on the cap of darkness, girdled himself with a sword of sharpness, and put a good slice of bread and some cold tongue in his wallet, which he slung on his back. "Never you fight, if you can help it, except with plenty of food to keep you going, and in a good heart." Then he flew off, and soon reached the volcano of the Firedrake.